Hi everyone. So over the past few months, I have been doing a bit of plotting. I haven't been plotting a scattergraph or the revival of a musical about John Wesley. I've been busy getting together all of the previous youth presidents from 2009 to right now. I haven't got all of them so far, but this is what this segment is about. So today I am joined by the youth president who has only just left, Daud. How are you doing, Daud?
I'm doing good, James, and it feels good to be involved in this role again. So I'm glad to be here, and I want to thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, so a question for you, Daud, which I'm sure everyone would like to know. Would you rather face an army of 100 duck-sized people or 10 human-sized ducks?
People. I think I'd go for people because I don't know how scary ducks can be. I've heard they can be quite vicious at times, so people. I would definitely go for that.
Yeah, it would be a quacking time.
That's a good one, yeah.
So what have you been up to since you left? What was it? 3 months ago now, was it?
Yeah, just coming up to the third month, so it was a great time whilst I was youth president, and ever since I've left that role, ever since you took over, it's been fairly quiet, but I've been relieved really to kind of have this time of rest. But it wasn't much rest. As soon as I finished my role, the next day I started my new job back at home here in the Cardiff circuit, and for the past 3 months now I've been working as an administrator in one of the churches in Cardiff, and it's called the Trinity Centre, which is a project of the Cardiff circuit.
Great. So the last time we saw you was at 3 Generate. How was your experience?
Well, this year, 3 Generate 2022 was a totally different experience for me because I'd been to 3 Generate before, but in 2021 I was there as youth president, so anyone who was there at 3 Generate, anyone who came to attend, anyone who was volunteering, or even the staff, everyone probably remembers that the whole time I was running around, hardly had any sleep, had a lot of things to do, so it was a super busy time, but absolutely loved it. I had a blast, and throughout the whole weekend I was running around, I was doing one thing or another, but I was just really happy to be a part of it and to be in that role where I had so many young people looking up to me as well. 3 Generate this year, 2022, was totally different because even though I was still in that place as the former youth president, and there'd been a lot of work that the both of us together, but before you started your role as well, there was a lot of work that I'd put into it. So seeing that come into reality was just really amazing, just to see how 3 Generate is such an amazing atmosphere and experience, but every year there's something new and unique that happens. I was glad that I didn't have to run around as much, or that I didn't have to do as much, so I was a bit relieved due to that fact, but it was still a busy time, and it was a great feeling when children, young people, or parents, volunteers, other adults, or just really anyone at 3 Generate, they would come have a chat with me, ask me about my year, or reflect on how 3 Generate was compared to previous years. So yeah, that's what I would leave it at, that when I was youth president, 3 Generate was really busy and it was great, and when I wasn't youth president, 3 Generate was still very busy, not as much, but still better than ever before.
So if you could relive any experience from your year, what would it be? And it can only be one thing.
Only one thing. You've really put me on the spot, because I figured if you might ask me that question, I had a few things in mind, but if I had to say one thing, 3 Generate is something that every youth president will talk about, so I'll skip that for now. Another thing would be a walk that I did, myself and my father, who's a Methodist minister in Wales, the both of us, we walked all the way from Cardiff to Wesley's Chapel in central London. So that was 165 miles. That's an experience I remember. I'm not sure if it's an experience I'd want to do again, but it's something that I'd remember. In terms of something I would definitely relive was my overseas trip. So recently I saw that you went to South Korea, but for my overseas trip, just only a few months ago, I got to go to a few different places. So I went to Germany, I went to Italy, I went to Northern Ireland for a few days, and along the way we stopped off at a few other countries too. But I think going to the Vatican, going to Rome, touring the Christian historical sites there, seeing stuff related to the life of Paul, that was absolutely amazing, and I would relive that any day of my life.
Okay, so with all the knowledge you have as a youth president, what would be one piece of advice you would give to someone thinking about applying to become youth president? I think it will be in next June-ish? Is usually the time?
Yeah. So when applications open for the next youth president in summer 2023, I would just recommend to anyone who comes across that post and thinks this could be for me, anyone who knows someone aged between the ages of 18 and 23 and thinks that that person may be suitable for the role, I would say do not hesitate, do not think about it twice, definitely go for it. It is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, and the actual role itself is so interesting. There's so much to do, and you can bring your own uniqueness to the role as well. So there is certain things you have to do, there's a lot that you have to do, but as youth president you can bring your own personality into the role and develop the role yourself also. So that's why I'd say do not double think it. If you think you know someone, or if you're thinking about it, just apply for it. You will definitely learn a lot along the way, and it will shape your personality in so many ways that you cannot even ever imagine.
I'd like to say I applied for all the cake you get as youth president. But
there's a lot of cake, so I think you need to be prepared for that. If you don't like cake, then maybe you have to double think it. But apart from that, that's wonderful. And the colleagues who bring you so much cake, who eat so much cake with you, they are so amazing.
I'd say so far my favourite thing about being youth president has been the visits, because I've been to South Korea, as you said, but I've also been to various congregations, and it's been quite interesting to see how Methodism is different throughout the connection, but it is also the same. Okay, so one final question for you, Daud. If you could meet anyone from Methodist history, who would it be, and what would you ask them?
Charles Wesley, definitely, without a doubt. I think it has to be Charles Wesley, because the amazing poetry that person was blessed with, and those hymns, hundreds of years later, we still sing those hymns, and they bring such a newness out every time we sing them, or every time we just hear those words, or we reflect on those words. All I would ask Charles Wesley is just to spend a couple hours with him whilst he's either writing a new hymn or whilst he's coming up with a new tune for a hymn, just to see that connection that Charles Wesley had with God, to just experience that connection right in front of him. So I would definitely like to spend some time with Charles Wesley if that was possible.
And just imagine the work Charles Wesley will be able to do now with all the instruments we have now. We have electric guitars. We have tons of instruments, including electric basses. synthesizer and all that lot. Imagine the type of hymns he could write nowadays.
Yeah, I think Charles Wesley, if he was around now, he would be able to play any instrument. And when I say any instrument, I mean from the harp to the electric bass to a flute. Yeah, Charles Wesley, I think he would be able to be the perfect musician.
It's been great speaking with you, Daud. In 3 weeks' time, I am going to be speaking with Phoebe Parkin. So please remember to tune in then. Bye for now.